Dear my brothers and sisters, defense of Çanakkale 104 years. Defense of July 15, 3 years. Whether you are in Islamist, conservative, secularist or liberal or Democrats, the period of taking it in our stride is over. Let it be known to all, the century-long patience has run out. It has been 104 years since the Çanakkale defense and victory. It has been 104 years since the Kuttul Amara defense and victory. It has been 105 years since the Gaza wars and defense. It has been 3 years since the July 15 defense and victory. It has been 1 year since the Afrin defense in Syria and victory. Whatever has happened in the region over the last century, whatever comes to your mind from the fall of Jerusalem to defense of Medina, from Sarkamış to the independence war and the Cyprus operation, they are all ours. They are our fights. History, the region and the political genetic have continued for centuries through us. Whether we run, fare, fight, score a victory or face defeat or challenge, it is what it is. And this fate has never changed. Looking at what has been happening these days, it is obvious that this fate is set to continue as before, and history, building the region, and political genetic will all continue through this fate. We collapsed a century ago. The region was reshaped. As we rise a century later, the same things are happening again. The West's centuries old political history is our political history. All attempts aimed at building the region since the Selçuks, all map operations are through us. The region and history were determined through the legacy of an empire that collapsed a century ago. Both our collapse and rise have a history making region shaping effect. Whether you are an Islamist or not, or conservative, secularist or liberal or Democrat or what else, whatever you are, whatever your political belief, whatever your identity, the place you stand in the West history range is fundamental. Whether you are an Islamist, conservative, secularist, liberal, or from this or that party or movement will not matter. How much you are at the center of this political genetic, or how far in, or whether you are against it will be what determines and identifies you. No matter how world history, political history, and the region are taking shape, whichever showdowns they are carried on through, and where you stand are your identity. This is your responsibility toward the nation, the region and history. Everybody is standing the same trench today as they were a century ago. The generations are the same. We are standing in the same place today as we did a century ago. Whoever was uniting against us a century ago are the same ones uniting again today. The same groups that partnered with that multinational invasion a century ago are making alliances again today. Those who paid a price a century ago are the same ones paying a price again today. The history-making wheel and the followers the generations that fall on the opposite side of history are always the same. Those who encounter attacks in Vienna, in Austria or London, those who are attacked in New Zealand, and those humiliated in Abu Ghraib are victims of the same revenge. Those who tried to strike from within on July 15, 2016, and those listen carefully, and those planning to siege Turkey from the north of Syria are on the same front. Revenge for Çanakkale and Vienna in Austria, and Andalus scenario for Istanbul, Turkey. Those using ruthless methods to stop Turkey's rise and those trying to stop this country are one and the same. We knew we would see these days again a century later. We were expecting this. We knew we would reach the end of the century. Long patience. We would return to ourselves, our region and history once again. We knew that we're going to want to avenge Vienna. They were going to want to retaliate for Çanakkale. They wrote an Andalus scenario for Istanbul. They would want to exclude us from history again and want to condemn Anatolia to the 20th century again. We could no longer keep quiet or take it in stride anymore. They were going to strike from the west, from the south, from within through terrorism, economy, through those who lost in history and the region. We knew all this. This is why we recalled the past to the present. This is why we made a shield of our claims and theories. This is why we are activated that political genetic. We could no longer defend, keep silent, or take it in our stride. If we want to exist, if we want to build a future, if we want to write a new rising history through Anatolia, we had to be strong. We had to be strong, resistant, and determined. We had no other choice and would not have any other choice. We had no other way but to do exactly what we have already been doing on these lands for centuries. It was about more than just Çanakkale. Afrin is not Syria, we know. This is why February 28 and July 15, Çanakkale and Afrin are no different to us. We know that Çanakkale was not a Çanakkale issue, and Afrin is not a Syria issue. Thus, we consider the past and present one and the same. This is why we see those who paid the price in the past and those paying a price today in the same identity, and those who betray it in the present and those doing the betraying today as the same identity. This is why we can see what's ahead of us, that the showdown will continue, and we are preparing accordingly. we are aware that it's about more than just Turkey. That is a fight for the region, for history, for civilization, and we are establishing ourselves accordingly. Relentless resistance across the entire region. Look at where you stand. Look at where you stand, my dear brothers and sisters. This is why we know that the outlines of the relentless resistance is not only confined to Anatolia, our homeland, that wherever the fight took place in the last millennium, it is going to be repeated in the same places. We know that the flag which was lowered in World War I is going to rise here again. We know that we are fighting for this within and around us today, that a shift in history has started and that it may not be possible to stop this for another century. Everybody should look to their left and right. Look at where they stand. To what pages of history will they be committed? This fight is the fight of centuries. It is going to continue for centuries more. We will never do this. Turkey's struggle has flowed much beyond that of Anatolia's borders. It is leading to global power shifts and will continue to do so. Therefore, we all need to come to our senses, whether we like it or not. Let it be known that we cannot escape this burden of history. No, not Hellas. We never made history by begging or crying. We did not remain standing idly by asking for forgiveness. This is something we will never do at the moment of resurgence now. We will not stand anywhere other than in the Turkey exists. Yes, we got your message loud and clear. Allow me to end the day in President His Excellency Recep Tayyip Erdogan's words, a summary of it all. We got your message. We understood both your feeling and intentions. We understood that your anger, your hatred are alive. We also understood that it means for a terrorist to kill 50 Muslims. We understood that you do not think we deserve the lands we live on and the breath we take. We also understood the kind of terrorists who stated the threats: you will not cross over from our homeland Anatolia to Europe. In this manifesto, that more could have been said. Thank you very much, and God bless you, all your family, here my brothers and sisters.